Hey guys, Chad here from Take It or Leave It, here with an early movie review for you for the film The Home. Here's the synopsis. This film follows Max, who realizes that the residents and caretakers in the retirement home he started working at hide sinister secrets. Alright, with that down, let's get into the pros and the cons, starting with the pros. Well, this is never a good sign when you start with your first pro being, oh, the third act is really fun, but nonetheless, that's where I'm going to start, and I mean it. The third act is a really good time. This is the part of the movie where Pete Davidson really gets to open up, or so it seems. I mean, it really does. It looks like he's having fun and he's really in his element in the third act. And as a result, that's really when the film hits its stride as well. The film goes to a whole nother level of bonkers and craziness and intensity, and it has a much better grasp on the comedy in this act. A lot of which is that holy shit kind of comedy. The comedy where you're not really laughing because it's a joke, but more so like, holy shit, I can't believe he just did that, or holy shit, that's so gory. Again, this is when the film really gets to open up and kind of hit its stride. But unfortunately, that is to say that in the first two acts, this film has no freaking idea what it is. Or at least it's incapable of communicating what kind of film this is in the first two acts. And if it wasn't clear already, yeah, we're getting into the cons, and get comfortable because we're going to be here for a little bit. So you might ask, okay, Chad, what kind of movie is this? And I'd say, well, it's not really what kind of movie is this trying to be. The question is, what movie is this trying to be? And this movie is trying to be Get Out. And I don't think that's necessarily some kind of revelation if you've seen the trailer, but I am here to tell you that this film does follow Get Out pretty much beat for beat. So other than a couple unique twists, this film is incredibly predictable. But unlike Get Out, this film is completely unable to establish what kind of movie this is from the very beginning. Like seriously, think about it for a second. Do you remember the opening sequence to Get Out? It starts out with Lakeith Stanfield, who's kind of walking around a very nice suburb, and he hears some things. I think he even sees some things, and he's like, dude, nope, none of this shit. And his reaction is really funny. But then the scene ends with a jump scene, and it's genuinely suspenseful and thrilling. So Get Out establishes what it is in the opening sequence very, very clearly. This film, The Home, the first 10 minutes are actually really dark and bleak. And for the most part, this dark and bleak tone continues throughout the first and second acts until we get to the third act, the fun act. I mean it, other than one or two lines from Pete Davidson and a couple what the F moments that people chuckled at, otherwise any laughter that I heard was isolated and was clearly laughter at unintentional humor. But you know what might have helped some of the attempts at humor to land better? If you unmuzzle Pete Davidson, for God's sakes. I mean, he's a freaking comedian from Saturday Night Live. What the hell are we doing here? Rather than embracing the lead performer, the filmmakers end up limiting the lines to Pete Davidson to only like one or two sentences at a time. And look, I know that Pete Davidson isn't a thespian, he's not a stage actor, that's clear, but we saw James Gunn launch Chris Pratt into superstardom via Guardians of the Galaxy with a leading role by embracing who Chris Pratt was, a guy who had very limited acting experience prior to this, and funneling that guy into the character he was playing. Look, I know it's easier said than done, but I'm just saying that should have been the approach for this film, especially because this film, again, goes toward a fun third act. And when you limit Pete Davidson to 1 to 2 sentences at a time, not only do we not really get to know his character, but he certainly doesn't get to use his strong comedic skills. And lastly, I swear to God, if I have to see another nightmare sequence come out of this film, I lost count at 3 nightmare sequences. There's more than 3, I assure you. And again, it seems like it's going for dark and scary and in your face and intensity, but honestly, I couldn't help but laugh at most of these sequences. Oh, and one other thing before we wrap this up. While I know there's a sense of irony that is kind of shown to us in the third act, up until that point, this film, it just makes older folks look and sound just awful, to a point where it made me feel uncomfortable. Not like, ooh, what I'm watching on screen is so gross. No, it felt exploitative. Like at one point I was looking around like, God damn, I hope there's no, older folks folks in here. Like, I want to help them up and like bring them to another movie. Like, dude, this movie sucks. You don't need to be in this movie. Screw this. Let's go. I'll take you to Superman. And it would be one thing if the film was exploitative in nature, but scary as hell, but it's not. This film is not scary whatsoever. So it's just insult to injury at that point. This film definitely has elements of... Do I really need to say it? And I gotta give The Home a 4 out of 10. But those are just my thoughts, take it or leave it. What do you guys think? Are you interested in seeing this movie? Do you think I got it wrong? Do you think I got it right? Let me know down in the comment section, let's talk about it. And if you enjoyed this video, but you want more information about what's on my watch list, what I'm currently watching, the kind of ratings I'm giving these films, as well as upcoming releases I'm looking forward to, don't forget to follow me on track.tv. My username is TIOLI_reviews. The link is in the description box. Go ahead and click it and start following me on Tracked, and I look forward to seeing you over there. And as usual, guys, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate it. Don't be afraid to hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, I'm Chad from Take It or Leave It, and I'll check you later.
Check you later. Check you later. Hey, man, get off my case. Oh, man. Chicks don't want to hear that shit.